Hello and welcome to Dan Talks United. So the video today is, can Manchester United get back into the top four? What do you guys think? But let's break it down. Let's get into it. So after 11 games in the Premier League, the table doesn't lie. Man United are in 7th place. Frustrating, but an improvement on last year, you could say. So it's like the engine's running, but the gear stick is still in neutral. They're trailing the front runners like Arsenal and Manchester City that are tussling for first and second and first. And we're also looking up at Aston Villa, and surprisingly, Sunderland are still there. The amazing effort from Sunderland, who were promoted team this season. Tottenham and Chelsea are above us as well. So the table's congested. So it even shows that you win one game one week, lose one game the other, where you can be in the table. And obviously we had a bit of a streak with that 3 wins in a row. Then we've had a couple of draws. But in that time, we've had Liverpool losing, Bournemouth started to lose as well. So quickly, you've got us in 7th, then you've got Liverpool, and I think respectively Bournemouth 8th and 9th. So we are still there, sort of similar points or same points as Liverpool and Bournemouth. But is it over before the festive break already? Time will tell. But like I say, the gap between ourselves and 4th is not like the Grand Canyon or anything. It is a much smaller gap than that. So, like I say, you have a couple of wins on the road, a couple of wins at home, and you're right back in there. So, obviously, Amorim will need to look at tweaking the team in order to get us in a position where we can start to put some wins back on the board. But looking at the fixtures coming up, obviously we've got Everton next after the international break. And then going on from there, it's going to be some tricky fixtures around that sort of Christmas period going into the new year. So, as we're saying, tricky fixtures in that sort of festive period. We have got some teams that are around us and have in the last few seasons probably finished above us. So I know we've got Villa coming up, we've got Newcastle coming up, and I'm sure they're both away. Well, I'd have to check, but I'm sure they're both away. So they're going to be tricky fixtures. I know that Aston Villa and Newcastle have had a bit of a mixed season so far, very similar to us. Newcastle are generally a tough opposition. Villa didn't start off the season great, but they've started to build up a bit of consistency, a bit of form. Just got a little bit halted by Liverpool in that last game. So there's very few sort of easy games, if you want to call it that, or sort of those games where it's a gimme, you're going to get it, you're going to get the 3 points. So if we want to stand a chance, we need to get a better sort of goal to game ratio than what we've got at the minute. We've got some points ratio, should I say, than we've got at the minute. So we're on about 1.64 at the moment. So we do need to massively improve that if we are going to move up that table and break into that top 4. So just to say, partway through the video, if you're enjoying the content so far, or you've enjoyed content on other videos that I've made, please hit that subscribe button, because that's really important to keep us going, build that community, and for us to do much more on this platform. Let's talk about how we go about breaking into that top 4. So as I was saying earlier, we're not far off it, but at the same time, if we lose a couple, we're right back down there again. How on earth can we do it? It all comes down to fixing our weak spots. We've been exposed from time to time in midfield, and there was times that we've been exposed in defence. So as I've said in previous videos, ball comes in, crosses, we're not always dealing with them correctly. And it is just tweaks, because we have got the players to do it. We have got, again, centre back, whether it be De Ligt or Maguire. are dominant in the air, are good headers of the ball. We just need to tweak it so that everybody knows their jobs, everybody's marking the correct men so that it's equal and we haven't got a mismatch, which we've had in certain games where we've had Ahmad trying to mark someone quite a bit taller than him. We just need to get that matching up of man-to-man defending correct, especially when it comes into balls into the box. So under Amorim, team has often stuck to its tactical plan, or Amorim stuck to his tactical plan. He has been quite stubborn up until recently, where he has been a bit more flexible. However, it has been like, for example, if you watch boxing and the boxer has got a really good right hand and he's just going constantly with the right hand, you're going to get worked out eventually. So you've got to mix it up a little bit. You've got to come in with the left. You've got to uppercut, you name it. You've got to use a different tactic. You've got to get your defences up as well. So if you are coming with that same game plan and you're not changing, you're not flexible, your opponent's going to work you out. So we do have to be tactically flexible, not saying completely change tactics or completely change formation or anything like that, but we just need to tweak things so that, for example, what he has been starting to do where we are defending probably more sometimes in a 4-4-2, sometimes in a 5-2-1, for example. We just need to plug those gaps, especially in midfield and down the sides. So the more we can do that, the more the players can understand that, the better we're going to be in the end. So, secondly, we have to just stop giving away cheap goals. And that's a major thing with this team at the minute. So they kill the momentum. So often, especially recently, we've been 1-0 up. As I've said before, we're 1-0 up at Forest, for example. 1-0 up at Spurs, and then we concede 2 goals. It kills our momentum, kills our chances of winning the game to a certain extent, and we take a long time to recover. Luckily, we have recovered enough to get a point from both games, but you're leaving yourself open to either losing the game or drawing the game when really we should have been coming away from Forest and Spurs with 6 points, and we've come away. How on earth can we do it? It all comes down to fixing our weak spots. We've been exposed from time to time in midfield, and there was times that we've been exposed in defence. So as I've said in previous videos, ball comes in, crosses, we're not always dealing with them correctly. And it is just tweaks because we have got the players to do it. We have got, again, centre back, whether it be De Ligt or Maguire, are dominant in the air, are good headers of the ball. We just need to tweak it so that everybody knows their jobs, everybody's marking the correct men so that it's equal and we haven't got a mismatch, which we've had in certain games where we've had Ahmad trying to mark someone quite a bit taller than him. We just need to get that matching up of man-to-man defending correct, especially when it comes into balls into the box. So under Amorim, team has often stuck to its tactical plan, or Amorim stuck to his tactical plan. He has been quite stubborn up until recently, where he has been a bit more flexible. However, it has been like, for example, if you watch boxing and the boxer has got a really good right hand and he's just going constantly with the right hand, you're going to get worked out eventually. So you've got to mix it up a little bit. You've got to come in with the left. You've got to uppercut, you name it. You've got to use a different tactic. You've got to get your defences up as well. So if you are coming with that same game plan and you're not changing, you're not flexible, your opponent's going to work you out. So we do have to be tactically flexible, not saying completely change tactics or completely change formation or anything like that, but we just need to tweak things so that, for example, defending a 4-4-2 or a 5-2-3, so for more sort of defensive and midfield stability. So in both defensive setups, you're going to have more players flooding the midfield area or the defensive area. So traditionally, there's a back three, you attack in that formation, but when it comes to defence, you sort of support that back three and maybe drop one of the wing backs to make a 4, or you might drop both wing backs to make a 5, and then you've got 2 in midfield, and then you've got the 3 forward players that drop back a little bit and just gives that overall stability and stops sort of that penetration through the middle, which I've mentioned in multiple videos. So after all that, the big question remains, can we squeeze into that top 4? Now, from my perspective, I think it's possible. And it's possible because I think it is maybe 1 and 2 isn't, but 3, 4, 5, 6 position is wide open. And purely because you win a game, you're right back up there. Said it before, played Forest. Half time, we were second. Full time, we were 6th, 7th. So it shows how congested it is in that sort of top 4, top 6 area. So can we do it? Possibility. So what we need to do, and obviously the competition is fierce for that. So as I've probably said before, you've got Arsenal, City, 1 and 2. You've got Villa up there. You've got Sunderland still up there. You've got Chelsea up there. Tottenham are in the mix. Just behind us, you've got Liverpool and Bournemouth. You've got Brighton as well. So there's a lot of teams vying for that sort of top 4, top 6 position and trying to get into Europe again. So that's got to be taken into consideration. But for ourselves as Manchester United, we need to turn that defence and midfield into a fortress, especially for me at home. That's where it starts for me, is having that sort of defensive and midfield stability at home. You want teams to think twice when they come to Old Trafford. And that's a good starting point, good building blocks from your home form, and take that into then your away form. Now, obviously we never want to lose, but you don't want to draw too much. You want to try and get those 3 points on the board. And obviously, as I was saying there's been 2 games more recently against Spurs and Forest where really we should have been walking away with 6 points in total, but we're walking away with 2. So 4-point swing, it makes a massive difference. So like I say, the path exists if we can just make some defensive tweaks, Amorim that is, make some defensive tweaks or some midfield tweaks, general tactical tweaks. He has made them. He has shown some flexibility. We just need to go that step further and just get key players understanding their roles. And that centre-back role is really key in terms of organising the defence, marshalling that area, showing their skills at heading the ball away and that sort of thing. And down the sides, we just need to make sure our wing backs are cutting the ball out as much as they can and giving the defence less work to do. So, as always, it's not just about my opinion, it's about yours. This is a community and I want to hear your voice. So please put your comments below in regards to what you feel. What do you think? Do you think we can? Do you think we can get into that top 4 and break into that top 4 because we haven't done it for a bit? Do you think that we can at least get into that top 6 and maybe vie for some sort of European spot? So tell us what you think. Put your comments below. What do you think we need to get into there? Do we think we need players in January? Do you think it's just players, or do you think that the coach needs to do some tactical changes? Or do you think it's a combination? Or just generally speaking, do you just feel that we don't have a chance of getting in there? Just please, whatever your comments are, your opinions, all welcome. Let's have a discussion over the next sort of weeks and months about where we feel we're going to be. Can we break into that top 4? So as always, please subscribe. It's really important to new channels such as ours. Keeps us growing. As you know, we've hit 100 subscribers and now it's the road to 500. So please support us along the way. Please join the journey. And it's always going to be about the fans, your front and centre in regards to that. So as always, please subscribe, please like, please share, and I will see you on the next one.